Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today in this video I'm about to show you 6 Mac apps which I use pretty much every single day. So without any further ado, let's get straight into it. Now the first app is called Eyes, and the Eyes actually changes the menu bar appearance, and it also hides the menu bar icons. Here you can see that you have this dot thing, and if you click on it, this will expand the icons here to the left. And I think it's a really cool alternative to the Bartender 5, which is actually a paid program. This one is actually open source, and I think it works really well. Now here, if you right click on this circle, you can go to the Eyes settings, and here under the menu bar layout, you guys can pretty much put whatever icon you would like to have, for example, in the visible section. For example, if I put this application right here, you will see the change happening right here on the top right, which I think is really cool. Then you can also change the menu bar appearance. For example, you can have this circle things, and you also can change the background. Overall, I think it looks very good. And you can also enable here the border, and if I do that right now, for example, if I put here the black color just like so, and if I increase the value right here, you can see that we have this border around the menu bar, which I think it looks okay, but personally I don't use it. And here down below you can also change the shape and also the tint, so you can change that to gradient, none, or to the solid. Now here, if you go to the general settings, you can change the Eyes icon to something else, for example to the arrow, or even to the sunglasses if you want to, but by default this is set to dot. Overall, I think this app works really well, and it's a great alternative to the Bartender 5, which is actually paid program. And one really cool tip, if you use the Eyes application and you are actually on the macOS Sequoia, if you go here to the system settings, you can go pretty much here to the desktop and dock, and here down below under the Windows, make sure that you enable this option, tiled windows have margins. And if I enable that right here, I will go back to the Arc browser, and if I change right now the Arc browser position, you can see how really nice this one looks with the addition of the Eyes application. By the way, if you want to check out this wallpaper and many others, I will leave a link for it in the video description down below, so you guys can check out this wallpaper and many other wallpaper packs which I also made, and your support, by the way, is also highly appreciated. Now the next app is TheBoringNotch. Now TheBoringNotch is an open source application which adds some functionality to the notch of your MacBook. Now let me show you how this one looks like. Hopefully this can be seen on the recording as well. So if I put the mouse here over the top, you can see pretty much which song I am playing here. You can see here on the right the events or my calendar, and then here you also have the shelf from where you can pretty much airdrop or drop files right here. Unfortunately, this feature doesn't work right now, and hopefully will be fixed in the next upcoming release. Nevertheless, this is an open source application, but for the free app, I think it works really well. Now, if I right click here, I can go here to the settings. For the appearance, you can see all of the settings right here as well. For the media, you also have this option here because you can see which song is actually playing right here, the animation, which I think looks very cool. Then we have the battery indicator if you want to enable it right here, the shelf, which I also already mentioned, shortcuts, as well as the extensions. Now let me just show you how the animation looks when I change the actual song. So if I go here to the Spotify and let's click on the next one, here you can see how the animation looks like. It is very smooth, and I think for the free Notch app, I think it works really well. Now the next app on the list is Tuneful. Now Tuneful is another open source application, and what this one does, it shows here the icon in the menu bar, and if I click on it, you will see here this pop over, and here you can pretty much go to the previous song, go to the next one, pause the song, and turn on or turn off the volume. But one important thing with this app is that if you go here to the settings, you can also enable the mini player, and if I do that, you can pretty much see the widget here on your desktop, and I think this is really cool, and you can pretty much place it wherever you want on your desktop. And here you can also enable minimal option, and the mini player will look like this. Overall, I think this is a really cool application, but hopefully this will be replaced very soon in the next upcoming releases of the macOS by the native widget for the music player on the macOS desktop. Now the next application which I use pretty much every single single day is ChatGPT. Now, ChatGPT is an AI tool which helps me tremendously when I, for example, write scripts, when I need some inspiration for my video ideas, and I think that their native macOS app is fantastic. Now, here let me show you one really cool thing which they added quite recently, and this one is called the actual search. So you can, instead of Google or your normal web browser, you can search inside this application, and I think it works really, really well. And here, for example, if I search for just like this, which are the 5 Mac settings which I should change after updating to macOS Sequoia, overall I think that ChatGPT could really replace your browser. So you can use the browser option here inside the ChatGPT app, and it works really, really well. Overall, I'm quite happy with the ChatGPT. And now let's go to the next app, and this one is called LocalSend. Now, what LocalSend does, it allows you to send files with your phone to your MacBook. So if you are like me and use Android phone with the MacBook, this actual program is a game changer. Now here you can pretty much see that you have 3 of the options: receive, send, and the settings. Now, if you, for example, are sending files from your phone, you will have this option receive turned on, and then you will on your phone tap for this computer, which is at the moment called Solid Blueberry, and you will send the files to this computer. If you want to send the files from your MacBook to your Android phone, you can also do that by just selecting the files here and then selecting your nearby devices right here. Now, the drawback of this application is that you have to have both devices on the same network. However, I think this could completely change in the next upcoming months, because I think Google is actually working on the quick share feature, which is natively available on the Android phones, and this thing hopefully will come to the Mac OS. I think they are planning to release the ARM version, so for the Snapdragon devices this year, and hopefully this will also come to the Mac OS, which I think is really a game changer, and that way you won't need to use the LocalSend anymore. Overall, I think that LocalSend is a really cool application if you use Android with your MacBook. Now, the last app on the list, which I use pretty much every single day, this one is called Affinity Photo 2. Now, Affinity Photo is a really cool alternative to the Photoshop. I used Photoshop before, but their subscription pricing turned me off, and this is why I use right now Affinity Photo 2, which is one-time purchase, which I think is absolutely fantastic. But what's actually more fantastic is that if you, for example, don't want to pay for the Affinity straight away, they actually offer Affinity 6 months free trial, which I think it's absolutely insane. So, for example, if you are in the same shoes as I've been when I was thinking about other alternatives to the Photoshop, this is how you can actually use Affinity Suite for free for 6 months, which I think is really, really cool. And here, this is how the program actually looks. It's very native to the Mac OS. Here, for example, you have this drag option. Here we can also have the cursor and select different layers, just like so. And then you can, for example, even change the size of the image. And this is pretty much the tool which I use for my thumbnails. And here, for example, you can make the simple selection, so just like so. And then you can go here to the edit here and go copy merged and paste new layer, just like so. So this is just an example how this tool actually works. Overall, I think it's a great tool for the Mac OS and a great alternative to the Photoshop. However, another really cool application which is similar to the Photoshop is called Pixelmator. However, this one was quite recently acquired by Apple, and hopefully they will not turn it into the subscription service application. And overall, I think this application is also very, very good. However, I think it's much more expensive than the alternative Affinity Photo 2. Now, overall, these have been my 6 apps which I use pretty much every single day. Let me know in the comment section which one you've actually tried. And with that said, if you enjoyed the content, make sure that you click on the like button, subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already, and if you are interested in another few apps for the macOS, make sure that you click on this video right now. You won't actually regret it. With that said, have an amazing rest of your day, and I will see you all around in the next video.